Welcome once again to Let's Make You a Brand, Season 1, Episode 3. This episode talks about why should CXOs do personal branding. Tarun, thank you again. So, why would a CXO do personal branding in the first place?
Why would a CXO not do a personal branding in the first place? You tell me that. Why should they not do it in the first place?
So I personally believe that CXOs should do a lot of personal branding. One is because it has a direct impact on the brand that they're working with. And it also showcases them as thought leaders in their respective industries, right? Now, what happens is when these kind of posts go on LinkedIn, the audience who's watching them, they form a perception about the organization and about that person himself. So he automatically gets projected as a thought leader, right?
Very well said.
And that itself is a big achievement.
Right.
And while doing that, it also creates a very positive impression on the organization that he's working for, right? And for that, while I think that CXOs should be doing all of this in their own capacity, I really think that organizations should be the reason behind getting personal branding done for their leadership roles. Because a marketing pure play is largely focused on creating impact on the revenue, creating positive impact on customer experience and all those kind of things. But a lot of people are aspirational of joining large organizations or well-known organizations. Now, how do you sustain that, right? How do you keep people aspirational on a continuous basis? I feel that if organizations take the bait in and put in that effort of branding their leadership teams, that is making the company more human, right? More realistic and leveling the ground, creating thought leadership content. I think that is why CXOs should do, and organizations be the ones pushing them to do this.
I think that's very well said and very well summarized, because at the end of the day, like you rightly mentioned, it's going to benefit the organization's direct impact on the one most important factor, which is the revenue apart from customer experience. Plus get them to hire people, because I'm aspiring to work with the CMO or CFO. So I think an organization should take that baton and then just lay out a strategy for the CXOs, and it is a must do. So very well said.
Thank you, Tarun. In fact, that question was for you, but thank you for giving me the chance.
See now, like you tell me, if there is somebody in the two people who's sitting, who's worked with or interviewed 700 CXOs and who's worked with about, let's say, 150, whose answer is more impactful, his or mine? His, right? So that's why that question was directed to you.
Well, thank you, Tarun. Okay. Do you think if organizations did personal branding for their key leadership personnel, the objective will be diluted as it might become more company related rather than person related?
That totally depends on the strategy that they're following.
Right. Okay.
If the agenda of the company is to just keep marketing the company, so what happens is with this person, when he or she eventually goes to the next step of his life or her life, people will not know what this person does apart from them working for an organization.
Right.
So then this person has to strike a balance that, hey, I am Tarun Makhija, I am great, or I'm still learning marketing, personal branding, content creation. I want to talk about these subjects because they relate with what I do. Plus, I want to integrate with the company also. It cannot be only the company's marketing always.
Right.
See, yes, the company is paying for it. Let's assume that. Right. Company will want them to benefit, not you alone, but it has to be always a win-win. It cannot be a win and lose, right? Otherwise, you'll be like, I just want to do my portrait on LinkedIn this way. I'll just do it myself in whatever way I want to, right? So I think it has to be a win-win for both. So they have to strike a balance between, let's say, some thought leadership quotes from the person, something what is happening in the company, a leadership team roundtable organizing, to an event happening, to a sales meet or whatever.
Right.
A balance is what people look for, right? True. If you lose the balance, people will be just like, hey, Roshan comes and only promotes his company. I don't want to follow him.
Right.
Do you want that feeling? No. As an organization, the person working in an organization doesn't want that feeling either. Right. They want people to follow them because, like you said, they have to be industry leaders and aspirational leaders for people who are starting their journeys or somewhere in the middle of their journeys of their career. So that balance is important. That is going to go down to the T at the first step, which is the strategy phase of your personal branding journey, along with infusing your company's values and marketing.
Okay. So, Tarun, now, like I mentioned earlier, I've interviewed hundreds of CXOs, right? And for us, it has always been a push strategy and never a pull strategy, right? I mean, the ratio would be 1:100, right? So, how do you think, now that we know, the importance of CXOs doing personal branding, how do you think they can leverage personal branding, getting it done for themselves?
So I'll tell you what happens. Today you start your personal branding journey today on LinkedIn. Now Roshan, nobody knows online.
Right.
People know only him. People only know him offline.
Right.
His clients know him. Great. They like the guy. Yes. He does some great work. Yes. His company is doing great. Great. Online, the world of internet works on only one thing. What is that? Social proof and trust.
Right. Right.
I can't see you. Neither I can shake my hands with you. I can't do anything but just listen to you in front of a screen.
True.
Like people are listening to us right now. So what do? You keep talking about what you're doing day in, day out. Your successes, more so your failures. You're not a perfect human, neither am I. Nobody is in this room or the people listening to this podcast too.
True.
But when they showcase their true self, day in, day out, they attract the people who want to work with them. Because I told you one thing earlier, which Austin Kleon says, show your work to get more work. So when you do this on the right platform like LinkedIn, people are going to approach you. And the next day, let's say you keep doing it starting today, December 2023 we reach. Now you've built a solid following of let's say 5,000 people on LinkedIn.
Right.
Today you're sitting at 1,000. 5,000 people are following you. 5 full 1,000 people. Can you imagine a room of 5,000 people?
Wow. That'll be amazing to have.
Exactly what the perspective of people should be. They should not chase 5 million first. They should chase 5 lakh. They should chase 5,000. Because when you're speaking in front of 5,000 people, it's a dream for some people, right?
Yeah.
So when you speak to them after a continuous effort of 10 months, and then when you put that I am now launching a new project, I'm looking for these people.
Right.
See the amount of inquiries you receive that they want to work with you.
True.
Number one. Number two, while you keep showcasing your work, companies who need the similar work done from you, they'll approach you directly.
True.
I can give you so many examples from my life. In the last 3 years, since 2020, I've been focusing a lot on my personal brand on LinkedIn, Instagram, a little bit on Twitter, a little bit on YouTube recently. I received, I don't know how many inquiries for my business. We've converted about close to 25% of them to via LinkedIn only.
And these were all incoming.
All inbound.
That's
I
amazing.
have, I have received invitations to at least 70 plus places to speak. It's a speaking opportunity.
Wow.
I have received collaborations from brands like An Academy, Reliance Retail, Tata Play,
Right.
Sony, SP Gen, Motilal Oswal, all through one platform, LinkedIn. Now imagine me approaching these people and them approaching me. If I approach them, I will reach there sooner or later, but I'll take a lot of time. But when these people approach you, they need you, they want you because they love what you're doing.
Right.
So if you're recording this podcast, take a screenshot, put on LinkedIn. Today we did an amazing thing, something's brewing, something is coming.
Right.
Make people a part of your journey. After 6 months, this project is a big hit. Tell people about it. After 6 months, this project is okay. Tell people about it.
True.
After 1 year, this project is not taking off. Tell people about it.
True.
We did this wrong, now we're going to do phase 2 and this is how we're going to do it. Are you with me? Yes, you're with me. If you are, I'm looking for 1 to 3 people, come join my team.
Right.
So when you do this, trust me, only one thing happens. People believe you more, they trust you more, it builds your credibility and they make a bond with you online.
True.
Initially they follow you for your content, but they stick around for the person you are.
Right.
And they eventually become your fans. So after 5 years of personal branding of Roshan, if 5 years later he asks me that Tarun, let's design our merchandise, can we do it? I'll say, yeah, let's do it. Tomorrow if you launch a hoodie in 5 years, it's going to be sold out.
Right.
Because when you become a brand, people buy. Virat Kohli is the biggest example. He's a celebrity brand, but
Right.
still a person, right? CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo.
True.
Or let me give you another example of Mr. That's Ratan Tata. He doesn't sell anything, but he's a brand in himself, right? People admire him, people love him, people just want to read his Instagram. He's on Instagram, his team manages his Instagram, and he's stories are beautiful. Why does Ratan Tata need a personal brand? He doesn't.
True.
Does he need it? On LinkedIn, on Instagram and Twitter, he's super active. Why? Human-to-human connection. Mr. Anand Mahindra, the most active human being on Twitter. He gives people Mahindra cars left, right and center because he loves admiring people and he loves Twitter. He replies to almost everybody. Some examples of people who built a personal brand who are maybe that big, or some of them are just starting off. People in the last 3 years have built so many personal brands, I can't even begin to tell you. They've reached to a place where they're now earning crore a month also because of their personal brand. I can show you a friend of mine who's doing that already. Through brand collaborations, through brand tie-ups, just by building their social media following. No, social capital.
Right.
It's a new term. Social capital, it's not social media following. So I would say it is paramount for your success to build it, regardless of what is happening in your life. Show up online every day.
True. I think what I also take away from this is that this personal branding piece for CXOs is also a sales strategy.
Yep.
Right? Very much a sales strategy.
Yes.
So you're actually selling by not selling.
Very well said.
So I think
that's the best form of selling, right?
Yeah.
Subtly selling it.
True.
There's a company called Rephrase.ai does some brilliant marketing campaigns. They only talk about it on LinkedIn, the marketing heads plus the founder. I follow him only for that reason. And the day I want to create a campaign like that, I'm going to only contact that guy because I see him on LinkedIn every once in a week.
Wow.
Power of retention.
Right.
If I see Roshan every day on LinkedIn, if I see Tarun every day on LinkedIn, I'm going to remember that this guy does this, this guy does that. Let's contact him. Why not somebody else?
Right.
So either you can do it through two ways. Either you do a lot of ads or you do organic content. So yeah, you decide what you want to do and pull audience towards you.
Interesting. Thank you, Tarun. Again, a very insightful conversation.
Thank you so much. It was insightful from you and to hear you as well.
Thank you.
So stay tuned and come back to episode number 4
Yes.
in the next few minutes. Until then, enjoy your coffees and your desserts and your lunches.
Thank you.